Hi everybody, it's Ashley from Discover Art Therapy. Welcome back to another therapeutic art video. Today I'm inviting you to follow along on a somatic, intuitive watercolor painting journey. The best thing, in my opinion, about this type of painting is that there are no rules. You don't have to have any prior skill or technique whatsoever. The therapeutic art experience is more about what we feel during the process instead of focusing on the beauty or the outcome. And the benefits fall across a wide spectrum. The actual technique and the actual making of somatic art making tells our body that we're safe. It gives our brain cues of safety so that we can release anxiety and feel calmer. And this type of art making brings emotions from the inside to the outside, gives it a place to go. And by slowing down and making space for art, we have opportunity to really hear our inner voice as well. If this is all feeling a little too overwhelming, I actually have a series of videos where I teach you short, somatic, intuitive techniques you can pull into this piece of artwork today. You're welcome to go and watch those videos and maybe make small pieces of art that feel a little bit more manageable. But if you're ready to dive into a somatic flow with me, all you need is a type of paint, a brush, some water, and some paper. And we're ready to get started. I want to invite you to mindfully place all of your art supplies on the desk in front of you. You may even choose to put your hands on your paper and take a couple of grounding breaths. Remind yourself that your art is your own process today. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's. It doesn't have to look perfect. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to be yours. Start experimenting and playing. You might want to start with the color that's calling your heart the most and maybe do something playful like 2 brushes in both hands at once. Just experiment and play. What is it like to hold your brush really lightly on the page? And what is it like to push it down with heavy hand? Create lines that emanate and spiral and spin. And experiment with layers. What is it like to put wet paint on top of other wet paint? See what happens. You can let your breathing actually guide your brushstrokes. Depict what it's like to inhale and then exhale on your page. Play around with the concepts of boundaries and fill them in. Fill in a little container. And then color outside the lines. As you play with your watercolor, look at the different vibrancies. Maybe water it down a little bit, make it more translucent. Just experiment and notice what's happening within you as well. If there's any sort of perfectionism or inner critic sneaking up on you, just let that go. Take a breath and remind yourself that this is meant to be fun. With therapeutic art making, we're not focused on what the final product is going to look like. Instead, we're focusing on the process. And this is a really great practice for you to remember. Your art is actually quite perfect just the way it is. Making marks for the sake of making marks helps us trust ourselves. It also helps us have better self-esteem, because when we inherently love and respect what we do, even if it's messy art like this, we can trust ourselves and love ourselves and have more confidence in our life as well. Just keep playing with your paints. What is it like to do dots and dashes and lines? Spend a moment connecting to your inner emotions or the senses in your body and then put them out onto the page. You may want to fill in the empty spaces and have your entire page covered in color, or maybe leave some white behind. Keep playing until your heart is content. You might want to use a hairdryer or a heat gun like you see me doing here to dry the art, or just stay with it and take a few mindful moments of patience to let it dry. Wow, I always find that a very freeing process. I started off with using the bilateral doodling, so using 2 paintbrushes, one in each hand, one in my non-dominant hand and one in my dominant hand. I explored all sorts of different techniques, from boundaries and containment to expression, experimenting with pressure and line and speed. I think the most joyous thing about my piece today is how much I enjoyed seeing the colors go onto the page. These watercolors are extremely bright, and I loved the way that different parts of them kind of exploded and melded into each other, creating new colors as well. Your art may look nothing like this, and that's a good thing. I want you to follow your own heart and your own intuition and your own creative flow, especially when it comes to intuitive watercolor painting, right? Thank you so much for making art alongside me today. If you haven't made art yet, that's okay. You can do this anytime. I love seeing what you folks create and how the process unfolds for you. You're more than welcome to tag me on social media at Discover Art Therapy, or tell me a little bit about your process in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.